My professor failed me for plagiarism without reading my paper, so I made sure the dean read it. Professor Richards had a reputation in our university's English department, not for brilliant lectures or groundbreaking research part, but for playing favorites and barely reading student work. I wasn't one of her favorites. From day one of text composition, she'd roll her eyes when I spoke in class and make snide comments about my unconventional writing style. Meanwhile, her favorites panned mostly athletes and sorority girls who laughed at her jokes. Pat received effusive praise for mediocre work. I kept my head down and worked harder. For our final paper TERT, worth 40% of our grade PERT, I spent 3 weeks researching the evolution of unreliable narrators in modern fiction. I interviewed 2 published authors, cited 27 sources, and even created original graphics analyzing narrative patterns. When papers were returned, mine had a large red F with PLAGRISM scrawled across the front page. In her office, Professor Richards leaned back in her chair with a smug smile. Your paper was suspiciously well written compared to your previous work. The analysis is clearly beyond your capabilities. I worked really hard on this, I explained, showing her my research notes. I can walk you through every source. She waved her hand dismissively. I've been teaching for 20 years. I know plagiarism when I see it. Did you actually read it? I asked. Because if you had, you'd have seen the acknowledgement page where I thanked the Writing Center for helping me improve. Her face reddened. Are you questioning my professional judgment? The decision stands. You can retake the course next semester. I left her office shaking with anger. This F would drop my template below the threshold for my scholarship. I couldn't afford another semester. That night, I made a decision. I emailed Professor Richards. I accept your assessment that this work doesn't reflect my abilities. I'd like to submit a revised paper that better represents my actual writing level, she replied almost immediately. What she didn't know was that I'd also emailed the Dean of Humanities, attaching my original paper with a simple message. I believe here's been a misunderstanding regarding my final assignment. Could you please review this when you have a moment for my revised paper? I wrote exactly what Professor Richards expected from me, part a basic, uninspired analysis with simplified language and just enough substance to pass. I even left in a few minor grammatical errors for authenticity. The next morning, Professor Richards emailed me, your revised paper earns a C. This clearly represents your actual abilities. 3 hours later, my phone rang with an unknown campus number. This is Dean Watkins. I read your paper last night. Fascinating analysis of unreliable narrators, parent particularly your comparison of Fight Club and the yellow wallpaper. Could you come to my office this afternoon? When I arrived, Professor Richards was already there, looking pale. I've reviewed both papers, the dean said calmly. The original work shows exceptional scholarship. The revised version appears deliberately simplified. Professor Richards has agreed that there was a misunderstanding in her evaluation process. My final grade was changed to an A, and I received the department's undergraduate research award that semester. Professor Richards took an unexpected sabbatical the following year. Sometimes the most reliable narrator is the evidence itself.